What's up, YouTube? Bringing to you the Smith & Wesson Bodyguard in 380 caliber. Let's jump on into it. This one has some modifications to it. I've got the Pacmar rubber grip on here, and I've changed out the sights to the big dots. And one thing about those is I would highly suggest using a sight installation tool. They do give you a little rubber punch to knock these out, but man, what a pain. Let's talk about it really quick. There's tons of videos out there about the breakdown. I'm not going to go into that. I'm going to go into the shooting and comfort of it all. Uh, to definitely break it down, this pin, you need to break the slide back, and this pin goes down. Now you'll see a little slot that's right here as if it needs to stop. What I have found is rotate it there and then rotate it all the way around. Because there's a little lip that's in there, and then you can wiggle and pull this out and the slide comes forward. I find that's to be the best way to break this pistol down. Nice gun. I mean, one thing about it for a concealed carry, it's light. It does the slide does lock back on the last round fired, which is not as common on a lot of the pocket pistol or concealed 380s. This one has that. I like that feature. In addition, it also has a safety, and this is a double action, so the hammer is deep inside of there, so it's a double action only and with a safety. So when you put the safety on, the trigger it feels a little mushy, but it keeps it from firing, and a nice positive feel to it. You can come down and pull. It's tough to get there with your thumb unless you get it just right. It's better just to turn the gun sideways to get a good grip on it. It has an integrated laser. For those that like that, you press it once and it just comes on bright. You press it again, it strobes. You press again, it turns it off. What I like about it the most is that this grip is wider here, but thinner here. So if you've got a little bit larger hands, and plus these indentions right here, which reminds me of a Springfield XDM, it just feels nice. This is probably one of the most comfortable smaller 380s that I've had. And I'm going to do some comparisons here with the LCP here in just a bit, but I like that feature about it. Let's do a quick safety check. The trigger, it's a little heavy. I'll give you that. It's not too heavy. And the brake on it is fairly nice and crisp. It comes with two magazines, with a flat and one with a pink extension, and that's with this little lip here, this finger groove, it's really comfortable with the for two fingers and holding it just like that, and the little plastic beaver back here that fits really nice for me. And you can buy some Pierce extensions and just replace them on the bottom of your magazine. And so if you're going to the range, you can shoot this and you get all three fingers on there, and that's a lot more comfortable when you're doing some range shooting. But obviously, if you do concealed carry, it's better to do half and half. Finish your day with what you normally are going to carry with a concealed carry. Very slick. I like it a lot. I kind of bought this off of a whim. I bought it used, and just kind of sat around. We took it to the range, and then the more I've shot it again, the second time and third time, I'm liking it more. Now I did a video you guys can check out recently of the LCP, and did some modifications to it, and I just fell in love with it after I did all the changes to it. But I'm almost really considering this one. I like them both. Don't get me wrong, but I'm considering this one even over the Ruger LCP. And let's bring that one out and kind of give a comparison to it. Now this one also has some updates, some modifications that I've been just playing around with it. I polished the barrel, like a lot of folks have done, and give it just a different look. Polish the pin here, put in the RTK trigger, and since my last video, I've added a laser to it. My guy wanted to shoot some with a laser and the whole grip. So the thing about it is, you know, the Smith and Wesson literally has all this already. You know, it already has all those features built into it, and and you need to add that to the Ruger to get them to be equivalent, especially if you like, you know, having a laser. So let's do a, you know, once again do a safety check of this guy. It's clear, and pop a magazine in and get some decent comparisons here. So in size, they're maybe the Smith is just a little bit longer. Let's get the barrels back there. Yeah, they're about the same. The sights on the Ruger are built into the frame, and I just put a dab of white paint there, so you know I could at least sight it in and get a good eye on it. But in terms of sights, even the original Smith and Wesson sights, I believe, are a little bit better than the Ruger. In terms of height, you know, the Smith is just a little taller, nothing really to write home about, and looks like some thicknesses here. Of course, the laser on the bottom does give it a thicker profile on it, but from the top side is they're about the same. I mean, they're really close. So here's my opinion, that if you bought these brand new with nothing added to it, I would probably pick the Smith & Wesson over the Ruger. Now, go to your gun shop or eBay or what, Amazon, for 10, 12 bucks. You put the whole grip on here. Now we're talking apples and apples. So they have a, you know, there's a lot more of a comparative feel in terms of carry. Now, that, of course, that doesn't really include, you know, the laser per se. But if you know, if you want a laser, then the Smith already has one built in, and then boom, you know, that's your choice right there. This is a Laser Max, and what I found was, for this Ruger, and it may not be true for the full size, but the Crimson Trace comes down and then has a dot right there, so when you grab it, the laser comes on every time. I didn't really care for that. And the second part of it is the Crimson Trace, you know, there's not a lot of, you know, area here to grab a hold of, and I just didn't want that messing with that piece. Where this, the Laser Max, has buttons on either side, and you can hit it with your finger here, or if you hold it, you know, hold it up, you can hit it with that one, probably this finger here, and you can turn it on instantly. Now, it doesn't have any strobe action to it, but it is fairly easy to turn on. The one thing about the Smith & Wesson is it's got a little ring around it to keep it from accidentally being turned on, but you've really got, I mean, you see that? If I just tap it, it doesn't turn on. It takes a really kind of a very deliberate and hard push, and you'll hear a lot of people complain about that. But you know, if you're willing to buy a pistol and put some, you know, a little bit of money into it, I think these were about $80 for these sights, and you can see that you can get just a better sight picture. You know, this is the Smith, the Bodyguard, and this is the Ruger, and of course it's got white paint on it. But you know, when you start comparing that, but both of them to me, they feel really nice, and I'd have no problem in the shape that they're in right now carrying either one or shooting either one. They both feel great. They both feel great in the hand. The Ruger is probably a little lighter and not as heavy. But one thing about it is if you get a holster and you put a laser on here, you need to buy a holster. Like if you want to have a holster for both, like in the pocket, you need to buy a holster for the Bodyguard, and then you can put the Ruger in it. Don't buy a holster just for the Ruger and then put the laser on there, obviously, because it won't fit as well. So to give you some ideas, I picked one of these up at a local academy. This is the Blackhawk size 3, and you can see that the Ruger fits in there fairly nicely. and doesn't wiggle around. It's got a little rubber grip here, and this is 12 bucks, pretty cheap. And to give you an idea, is this is an Uncle Mike's size 10 that originally the Ruger fit in there fine. And I've been trying to stretch it out, but now you can see that it's a force fit. You can see it really start to stretch and bind here to try to push that in. And on top of that, the Bodyguard really doesn't fit in there very well at all. You've really got to force it. And if this is an inside waistband and that's pinched down, I mean, it's really a hard tug to get it out. In addition, another one that I seem to like, and this is actually for the Nano, but look for that V5 on there if you're shopping for some. But this is the Desante's Superfly, and this is really sticky and rubber coated, which is nice because then it'll stick inside your pocket. And then you've got this flap that's on it, and it's Velcroed, so you can take the flap off, and then the Ruger goes in there. Fits really nice, such as that. You know, it doesn't have a, you know, it's not tight at all. You know, it will slide out, but you really don't want them that tight. And then on top of that, the Bodyguard goes in there and fits really nice as well. And like I said, believe it or not, this is for the Beretta Nano that I did the review on. And so you can carry it like that in the front pocket. It's a little wider than, you know, this Blackhawk. But, you know, if you want to put it in your back pocket and cover it up like a billfold, then obviously this piece also comes with it, and you can carry it like that. And then it won't print in your rear pocket at all. It looks like a pretty large size wallet. So, given all that, you know, you're asking me, all right, Mr. Six Shooter, which one would you pick? I like them both. Honestly, I would pick and use either one of them. It turns out that I believe that the Ruger is having this hoe grip is a must-have. You know, beforehand this thing was just jumping out of my hand, and I just did not like it at all. As soon as I put this hoe grip on there, I was able to grip it better and shoot it better. I mean, the RTK trigger is a nice feature, but the other trigger would work just fine. You know, and I put a spring kit in it as well, but this grip, you know, for 11 bucks, it makes the biggest difference. So let's say if you could find this pistol for $300 and then put a $10 grip on there, it's a great concealed weapon. Forget the laser. So now you know without tax you're into it for, you know, 310 bucks. If you find this one, it's probably going for around 349, 359, something like that. And it does have an integrated laser, and it feels good. So you know, now you got a $50 difference. Well, now if you add a $70 or $80 laser to it, then the Ruger becomes a little bit more expensive. But you know, c'est la vie, what it is. Magazines are pretty cheap on both. They all carry 6.6. The Smith, if you want to have a 10-round magazine, the 10-round magazine just goes in and sticks out like that. And then let me walk over here and grab this one, the Bodyguard magazine. But I haven't really played around with it yet, but you know, it's got the nice extensions on here for the fingers. And that, you know, the pistol, let's just go ahead and break it open and pop it in there, see what it looks like. So then the 10-round magazine, you know, if we're doing some range shooting or things like that, now, you know, that's a big full size. As a matter of fact, you know, you can't even get all your fingers on it. You know, you got plenty of room down here. Obviously you're not going to hold it way down like that. But if you want extra capacity for shooting at the range, not having to load as much, yeah, this could be useful. So that's my 2 cents on it. I mean, send me some comments, see what you guys think. I mean, I own them both. I like them both. I don't plan on getting rid of either one of them, and I'm going to alternate between carrying them back and forth. I've never haven't had any reliability issues with them at all, and they both are great little pistols. So, you know, pick what you like. I mean, now, at least nowadays it's tough to find, what you're looking for. But if you can find either one of these, they are a good price range, between the what I call the $300 and $400 range for a good overall pistol. And last but not least, for you guys out there that are maybe looking to buy your first gun or something like that, assuming that how your funds are looking, but I would always have at least two. I would have a concealed carry that's like a 380, and I would have a larger caliber like a 9mm or 45, to really practice and shoot at the range, because the 380s you do need to practice with, but they're just not as enjoyable to shoot. They're short, they're snappy. You do want to practice with them to get the feel of it in case, for defensive situation. But in all honesty, carrying a big 9mm or a big 45, it's really not that practical. I mean, and a lot of people out there know that, but there's some people that say, I'll never carry anything but a 45 and the biggest caliber because, there's method zombies coming at me at all times. That's just not true. At least in my opinion, it's not. But if you want a good gun, either one of these will work just fine. So that's my 2 cents on it. Y'all be safe and shoot well.